Okay, good morning everybody. There's a few things going on in the background which you're thinking, what the hell? First of all, why is there some sort of livery over the Mustang? Okay, so long story short, we was at Modnats this weekend. The weather was a bit boring, morale was a bit low, and I can't remember how it happened. One of the green light guys suggested writing something on the car, or made a joke about writing something on the car. And then next thing this happened. So next thing we just put a load of Sharpie pens on the windscreen and just said, yeah, if you want to write something on the car, write something on the car. And this is what happened. Let me show you. So yeah, this is what happened. We've got a free livery on the Mustang, thanks to everybody at Modnats. My thought behind this was, well, we're potentially going to paint the car soon. Me and Kuba have been toying with actually painting the car, and I was like, well, it's only a cheap wrap anyway. Let's just cover it in some Sharp pens. Let's have a bit of a laugh. And a laugh we did have. Now, there's a few of my favourite ones. I think my favourite one is the one on the filler cap. Write my name, and every time you miss me, you can fill me up. We like that one a lot. A few OnlyFans girls linked to my OnlyFans. I'm going to cover them just so they don't get any followers. And we've got, obviously, there's a penis, of course. There's always one. I think there's 3 penises. There's one there, a little one there, and I'm pretty sure there's a penis on the back somewhere. Oh yeah, there it is. There's the little penis. Yeah, obviously we're going to keep this going. I actually really like it. I think it actually suits the car really well. I'm not going to lie. And it's something fun. Like, anyone can come. We had a load of like kids and write the name and draw something on in the pink, and it was just good fun. Like, it was just good fun, and I don't care about the wrap of this car. So yeah, I think we're actually going to keep it. So all the shows that we take the car to, if you see the Mustang, come over. There will be some pens, and fill in a space. Let's see if we can get it where you cannot even see any of the cream anymore. I think it's going to be really cool. I really like it. We're going to keep it. Now today it's going to be a busy video. So first of all, we actually got the welding done. If you remember the last episode when we had the bolt holes ovaled out, I went somewhere and I actually got it welded. I've not filmed properly, but I've got some clips, and I'm going to do a little bit of a B-roll / like voiceover of what we did. So I'll insert that now, and I'll see you guys in a second. So this is how the arm was sitting before. As you can see, that's the standard box section of the car. Now this is the side which is the troublesome side. And this is the one that I'm getting more of the knocking from. And that's actually the bolt hole. So you can see it's rounded up, down, and left and right. That's the other side. So the other side isn't as bad, but it's just started doing it, especially on the inside there. But if you compare it to the other one, pretty sure they used 5mm steel. Contemplated doing 10mm, but it was just way too thick. And this enough was more than thick enough. So obviously they've measured the size of the plate, and now they're just drilling a new hole to fit the new bolt. So as you can see there, that's how it's going to sit inside, and that's going to be the strength. The other side, they just cut a bit of a smaller one, because obviously you've only got an access hole to get in there. So they cut a smaller plate to fit on the other side, and a big one fit on the other, and that's both sides. And then a huge washer, and that's a new bolt as well. So the bolt hole is perfectly measured out to the bolt that we're going to be using. Because obviously we needed the bolt to be a bit longer as well, because obviously to account for the extra thickness of the steel. So this is me just measuring up each side, and obviously we've got to put them perfectly, and just make sure they're even each side before we fully tighten down and weld them in, etc. And off we go with the welding. Now we're adding a plate on the bottom as well, just to strengthen it, because you can see the crack there on the left. The metal is getting really weak, so we're going to put a plate at the bottom just to strengthen it fully and make a new box section. So we've got a plate on either side and a plate at the bottom, so it is now super strong. And then what they did was, well, they just went and seam welded or stitch welded all the insides, just to make it all one unit, just so it's super strong. This is what it kind of looks like. Obviously that weld that looks terrible, that's somebody else's in the bottom left, but it's all stitch weld around. The bolt holes welded in, just need to finish it off, and it's plated either side and at the bottom as well. So just adding a little bit of paint just so it doesn't rust. I will be getting it under sealed properly soon, but that's pretty much what it looks like now. They folded the metal underneath over the plate and welded it all together onto the plate. So to be fair, it's super strong now. Tighten it with the new bolts and the big washers, and there we go, done. Okay, cool, yeah, so the Mustang is all welded up. Now, we've got something here today. This is going to be the most, this is the most requested video I've had in like the past couple of years. I've never had as many requests to do this video, so we're getting it done. The dashboard is here. This is the dash. I've never had so many comments of everyone saying, please put the bloody dash back in the Mustang. Now, I don't know. Half of you do know, half of you don't know the reason why the dash isn't actually in the Mustang right now. I'll show you why the dash isn't actually in the Mustang and what we're going to do to fix it today. Now, if you remember ages ago when I did the heater matrix, I actually crushed the connector to the instrument cluster. I crushed it and I cannot find it. I've still managed not to find one. Right now all the pins are just pushed in to the dials. I'll show you a little bit better once I get this all off. The pins are just pushed in, and there's important pins on there. There's anti-theft pins, fuel pump sender pins. You know, basically you need them in for the car to run. So I kind of just, you know, wanted to run the car just to make sure I've not put anything in the wrong place. Some of the lights aren't working. The ABS light doesn't come on, the engine management light doesn't come on. I mean, which is great news. But everything else works. The fuel sender all's working fine. It all runs good. So I'm confident now that we can put the dash back in. The only reason I couldn't put that dash back in is that if one of those pins popped out, or I got one of those pins wrong and I was in the middle of nowhere and I had the dash in, I would have to take all the dash out just to figure out why. So I'm confident that I know all them where them pins go. So we're going to make our own connector. So I've ordered a universal 20-pin connector, and we're just going to make our own connector and wire it all back up. So we need to be careful doing this. If we mess up with wiring, it's not going to be good. So first of all, what we're going to do is I'm going to take all this off, and we're going to hot glue gun in them wires exactly where they are now, and then we're going to chop the wire in and we're going to put a new one in. So I'll show you how we do that. But there is a load of parts on the floor here. Now these did actually come with the car, so I've got this box out because the airbag was in there, which I don't know if I'm going to put back in because this bastard is bloody heavy. So I don't know what we're going to do because I'll try and get it. Probably is best to actually put it in now, because if we are going to be doing some tandems and stuff, which the plan is, it'd be nice to have that airbag in for the passenger. I mean, obviously I don't have one, but at least the passenger will, and I don't think I can actually get this bit off here without the airbag going in there, so we'll figure it out. But we're going to put the dash back in today. Anyway, I found a load of spare parts that the car came with, so there's a load of rings and seals and stuff, and these are like pulleys. That's like a brand new pulley. So if we can't see anything in here, I need to Google the part numbers. I'm not exactly sure what everything does or what seals they are. If one of these is that, I actually have a feeling this is that pinion seal, and I'm really annoyed, but I'm 90% sure that this is that pinion seal which we ordered. We paid way overpriced for it when it was leaking the other week. I'm going to Google the part number, but I'm 90% sure that that's that pinion seal which we couldn't find, and we had to pay like 40 quid for £2. Okay, it's actually an axle seal, not a pinion seal, so I'm kind of happy about that. So I'm guessing they go on the inside of the diff, and there's like these little C-clips here. I remember them inside of the diff. There's lots of other stuff which is quite nice to figure out what it is. There's no 2 sensor there. I don't know what this is, some kind, I think it's a crank sensor or a cam sensor. We might just change these things that we've got. Oh, there's 2 of those. I don't even think we've got drop links. Anyway, we'll have a look. The main point today is get the dash back in, but we've got a load of stuff here which I might actually install in the car. And also, I was driving back, and to Mondats the other day, there was a horrendous noise coming from the back end. It almost sounds like the prop is rubbing on something, or it sounds like the diff is going to fall apart. It doesn't sound good at all. So we're going to jack the car up and have a look what's going on, because something sounds like it's literally about to fall off, or sounds like it's going to snap in half, which is not ideal. So yeah, that is our day today. Let's crack on, but let's get this dashing, because I know that's all you guys want to see. Searched and searched and searched for a standard connector to go into this instrument cluster, and I can't buy one online, and I can't get one break-in because there's one Mustang break-in in the whole country, and he won't cut the connector off because he wants to sell the whole wiring loom or the whole dash or whatever, which I kind of understand, but kind of don't, because, well, I don't know, it's up to him what he wants to do, it's his car. So anyway, we need to find a way to do this because we don't have much wiring, but we need to take this gaffer tape off, and you'll see that previously I've just pinned in, well, pushed in all the connectors, because if you remember, we couldn't start the car for like 2 days. So this is what it is. All these are just pushed. I put some electrical tape, obviously, so they don't touch each other, because while they're moving around. I'm probably gonna have to do that because obviously I flattened them down so they would have touched each other and shorted each other out and all got different power and stuff. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna double check all the wiring. So a couple of them have popped out, but I've got the wiring here, wiring diagram. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make sure they're all in the right hole, make sure they're tight in the pins. I've got a glue gun here somewhere, and I'm just going to pour a load of glue into this so it sticks, and then I won't need to use the gaffer tape. And I mean, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm just going to give it a go. Right, so I'm pretty sure I've got all the pins where they need to be. So I'm going to start the car and just make sure everything works. So it runs, that's good. Oh. No, right, something's wrong here because it's dying. This is worse, this is the thing, this is the pain. No, something's cutting out. I think that's the fuel pump. See, if I had one of the connectors off, that might be why. There we go, cool, right. Right, so we've got a glue gun here. We're just going to go full send and just literally fill it up with glue. That's the approach, guys. I can't think of anything better, to be honest. Oh no, oh no. That dries, you can see there's a load of glue there. It's like sat in nice from, it was like pouring resin in, to be fair. So I'm gonna let all that dry, just to make sure. I have been starting the car throughout in case I've knocked the pin or shorted anything, but starts up all good, which means the anti-theft system and the fuel pump sender are in, which is the main things. So we're going to let that dry now, and I've got a connector inside. It's just a universal 20-pin connector, so the wiring isn't going to be the same, so it might be a little bit of a faff. We're going to chop that and then wire in the new connector, meaning I can unplug this if I need to in the future. This is just like a universal extension plug, so you just use this to extend it. But what we're going to do is we're going to chop this in half, and then them two will plug together like that. You can chop them in half, chop this in half, put that on that end and that end, and that wiring on one end, and then we've got a plug. The only issue is that they're not 20 different colours. There's only like 6 different colours, so it's going to be hard. So I'm going to do it wire by wire, one at a time, and probably just put like a little masking tape and just say which wire it is, like white, green, or like red, black, light blue, whatever, just so I don't get confused. So I'm going to do that just in case we do mess up a wire. But if we're doing them one wire at a time, we shouldn't really anyway, but just in case, that's what we're going to do. Right, so I did have a soldering iron. I was going to solder this, but unfortunately it doesn't work. Soldering irons are so shit, man. So I've luckily managed to find just like some terminals and stuff, so some crimps inside the garage, and I'm going to reference it exactly how the wiring diagram is on here, so I won't get them wrong. So yeah, let's do that. It's just an idea of what I'm doing. I've chopped them, put them in together, and we're going to replicate it as best as possible. So although that is black, I'm going to put it to the blue because it's pin number 1. So I'm going to go in pin number 1, and I've put 1 BK, 1 BK, and then we're going to wire these in to these ones here now. Okay, I've done, that's all the wiring done. That took way longer than I thought it would. That was so boring. Oh my god, I've left the ABS one off because it's just, I don't want the ABS light on there because I don't even want the ABS working at all. So there we go, it's all done. Now the true test is to plug it in and pray it bloody starts. So come on, let's try. Oh god, let's hope I've not messed one up. Come on. Right, here we go. Come on. Yes! Woohoo! Indicators, they're working. Cool, everything's sweet. Thank god. Right, so now we can start putting the dash back in. Oh my god, it took so funny long. Oh, it's not for what. First of all, I've got to tidy up all this wiring. I've got to just put it all, I'll just wrap it all up in some electrical tape to make it a little bit nicer. Okay, so I've just picked up the dash. Here is the dash. I have a feeling this isn't going to go as nicely as everyone thinks. For some reason, I think it's just been ripped off. First of all, it needs a bloody hoover and a clean, but I just want to make sure it actually fits first. All of the bolts, it just looks like it's been ripped off. It doesn't look like it's been unbolted. Like the bolts and like cracked plastic are still all in the back of it. I'll show you in a sec. Every single bolt is just got ripped plastic on it. I don't know if that's what actually bolts to the metal frame, but to me it looks like it does. I can't really see any other bolts anywhere else. The spiders over there. Ugh, I hate spiders so much. So let's see what we can do. I think I need to unbolt this here because I'm pretty sure that's not the correct location for it. Oh, it's got a knot on the other side. Yeah, I don't think that's the correct location for that. I think it's just been put there. Let's unbolt this and let's just see what we can do. I mean, right now I have no idea what I'm going to do, but let's just see what we can do. Okay, people. I mean, I don't think it's going to look amazing, but we're going to be able to do it. The bits that have snapped, what I thought was the actual mounting points to the metal bit, it's not. It's the mounting points to the it's the things that bolt the blowers in the right place. But I'm not really asked about that, to be honest. I don't think I have the centre console bit here. Oh, do they bolt on that bit? Oh, they might bolt on there. I should take them off now, actually. And I might still have to reuse this little thing, but at least it looks better than just dangling there. I can just put it on the side here or something, because that's got my wipers. But I think it's gonna. I think the main bolting. I don't know. I have no idea. Well, I'm just gonna keep going, guys, and we'll see where we get. But it looks so much better already. It looks like such a nicer place to be already. It's coming along, guys. It looks a bit like an S13 right now. It's coming along. I'm just trying to figure out where everything goes and how the hell it plugs in and everything. I'm probably gonna have to just drill 2 like new holes down there just to go through the metal. Strong on the top, you've got the 3 bolt holes there, 1, 2, 3. They're all good. It's tight. It's tight at the sides. Now the dash is bolted in. It's tight over here because the glove box up down here is a little bit rattly. So we're probably just gonna drill a couple holes and just put some bolts into that metal to make it strong. I've kept this. Everything works there just fine. I've actually found another ignition volt, so I should actually be able to use my 12-volt thing now. I still need to find. This is all plugged in. This was a nightmare. Oh my god, this is trying to get us a nightmare to put it around the back of there. And all the clips in this car, like, they're not normal clips. Like, you have to use a screwdriver to get off, like most clips, and it's an absolute nightmare, and you always end up breaking them, but it is what it is. So right now I'm just going to put in the surround, and this is where my lights go. So there's a little contraption where you have to unscrew it and then unpull it out and then put it back in this hole and screw it in, and then yeah, it should make sense in a sec. Yeah, so with this thing, you've got to put this through here, and then I assume it just bolts down to this. It was bracketed before, but I don't think it needs to be. I think that's just so, you know, they had the lights. And then you put this through that way. I think, does it just go like that? It's got to just sit like that, right? Maybe like that to the side. Sits like that somehow. Right, I can't actually believe how long that took. Oh my god. It took forever. I mean, it is pretty much fully done. Obviously, there's bits of the dash missing which didn't come with the car. Am I going to try and find them? Absolutely no, absolutely not. But it does look a lot better. It feels a lot more safer in there, and I think it is going to try to hide the noise a little bit, to be fair. So I'll show you now. And speaking of noise, we're going to jack the back end up and have a bit of a play. This would be good to do in a 4-post ramp to kind of see, you know, where the prop is sitting as the wheels are on the floor and it's all sat, but I kind of know how low it sits, so we can kind of judge it from there. So we'll just get it on jack stands and we can jack it up and lift the prop and see if the prop's actually hitting on anything, or see if it is just the diff that's making a terrible noise. But here's what it looks like inside now. So there is the dash inside of there. There you go, everybody. I know you've been dying and dying to see the dash in. There it is. Obviously, we need to have a bit of a clean. There's still some stupid stickers. I hate stupid stickers. I hate stickers in general. But the dash is in there. It's solid. I'm missing these little things here. I'm not sure what they are, but it's fine. But I'm missing them. I'm missing the. I don't know what meant. Is it a radio that's meant to go there? And I don't know what's meant to go at the top. Maybe a vent. Yeah, I think that's a vent. So I'm missing the top vent. I don't know where that is. Maybe I'll find it. And I'm missing a radio, but I would actually like to put a radio in here, to be fair, because it is shit having no music. You probably won't be able to hear them anyway. I think at one point I'm actually going to see if the speakers are actually plugged in, because there is wiring down here for a radio. I don't know if it's a standard ISO or if it's some aftermarket weird shit. Yeah, that's not a standard ISO. Is it a standard ISO? Is that a standard ISO plug? This looks like an aftermarket wiring loom. See, it's got the antenna front left. Or that looks like an aftermarket wiring loom. But it goes to the standard loom, so I don't know, it looks like an aftermarket one because it's got the RCAs, so maybe that just does plug into a radio. Usually I could just tell if it's been working at Halfords and fitting radio, I could just tell by looking at it, but I can't tell. But I assume it is. It's got all the wiring on there. I don't think Ford would come with RCAs and all that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, definitely, it's got a remote wire, so that's definitely an aftermarket wiring loom. So maybe we can just plug a radio in there. I might have one lying around actually, I'll have a look. But we need to have a look at this noise in the back end. So that's what the car sits like now, everything looks good. Right, so I just jacked it up, got it in a gear, and it's definitely from the diff. You see this coming in and out, it's actually moving in and out. Definitely coming inside the diff. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the prop off and just make sure that I've tightened that pinion, because that pinion might have come loose and that's potentially what's moving it up and down and making that noise. Okay, so I'm going to pull the prop off and pray that that pinion nut has just worked its way loose a little bit, because if that's not the noise, it's the diff itself. Now I knew this was going to happen because when we welded the diff, we knew it wasn't in good shape. But the thing is that I thought it'd last a bit longer than this, I'm not going to lie. And we've got a couple of drift days coming up. Now the worst thing is that it's so hard to find rear axles for this car. If we lived in America it'd be fine, but it's not like we could just ship one over. They weigh about 100 kilos. And you can buy like crown and pinions and stuff to rebuild them, but I don't know if I'm going to need it. I don't know how a diff works, to be fair. I don't know if I need the other bits which we've welded, so I might just have to get like a full diff rebuild kit from America. I'm gonna have a look into it, because either way it needs to happen, because the teeth on this are ruined. Can't remember also if we welded the shafts in. I think we didn't. I think we did it so we could get the shafts out, we could change the shafts, but that part of me thinks we did weld them in. But anyway, the nuts here, I'm going to check if it's tight, and I'm just going to tighten it a little bit more just by putting 2 bolts in and holding off that as a leverage and then tightening it. And we're going to try that and see if that helps, because the fact it's moving in and out says to me that this thing isn't tight enough. Should always tighten these with like tolerances and stuff, but I don't have that tool, and it's like, it is what it is, you know. So maybe that's part of it as well. But what we're going to do is I'm just going to hang on there with a bar, just tighten it a little bit. Yeah, nah, it's tight, man. So I think it's the diff on its way out, which is not ideal, I'm not going to lie. No. Okay, right, I'm gonna have to go away and find some alternatives. Find out if I can, I don't know, I might go and have a look at the re-watch the video when we welded the diff and see if I actually welded it all together as one unit, because finding a full axle fleet is going to be near on impossible. I don't know if the manual diffs are different either. Yeah, I think it's just the same. I think it's just an 8.8. I'm going to have to go and do some research, guys. There is one person breaking a Mustang in like Northampton. It is an auto, but maybe they are the same rear ends. And buy that and put that in just as it is, and then see if that's the noise is gone, see if it is that, and then think about getting that welded up as well. But I don't know how cheap it's going to be. I'm going to go and do some research, guys. It's the end of the video. I hope you're happy that I put the bloody dash finally back in, and well, we're just going to send it off. If the diff blows, the diff blows. I'll just get the car trailered home and then figure it out. But I do need to get a new rear axle, because as Dan said, he said the teeth in this are ruined. So what we might do is we might try and find a new rear axle and get like a whole rebuild kit and just rebuild that one and put some better ratios in it and just, you know, get that welded up and stuff, and then hopefully we've got a strong diff then. But for now, guys, I love you all. It's been a long bloody day when it shouldn't have been this long. I love you all, and we'll see you in the next one.